Warning! This video will ask you to do something, not just learn something. And this really is the only path to turning around your negative self-talk and the self-doubts that feed it. But not to worry, it's not hard. I hate practicing. When I was young, I often said that to my mom when it was time to practice piano. It seemed burdensome. But over the years, as a professional classical musician, I began to see the purpose, power, and satisfaction in a good practice session. It was practicing that created new habits or transformed not so helpful ones into habits that served what I wanted to do. And that's the fourth phase of this process of reprogramming your negative self-talk: practice. In practicing music, I discovered that consciously repeating precise thoughts, actions, and emotions many times turned those seemingly disparate things into a single motion that I then carried out automatically. I no longer needed to consciously think about these separate things because they had become part of my unconscious activity. I had created new habits that just seemed to be part of who I was. Practicing the message you created from the previous video is what will reprogram your inner critic into an inner advocate. Now, there are a couple of things that will help this process go faster and be more powerful and sustainable. First, in addition to simply thinking your new message over and over, really feel the emotion your new message elicits. Remember, in creating your new message, we were constantly looking for the strongest, most empowering message possible. We wanted that message to make your heart sing. Use that singing heart to reinforce the thought. Let the thought inspire the emotion, and the emotion inspire another repetition of the thought. These two things together make for very strong habits. The second thing that helps is to tie your new thought and emotion to a physical action. We've gotten your mind and your emotions involved. We want your body at the party too. Now, this physical motion can be literally anything that involves your body. A power pose, the blink of an eye, or a leap of joy, a fist punch in the air, or maybe even just invisibly pressing your big toe onto the floor. Although the larger the motion, the stronger its contribution to the habit is likely to be, what's more important is that whatever motion you pick supports the thought and the emotion. Find a motion that embodies the emotion and expresses the thought. Then practice all three together, over and over and over. The other important thing is to start your practice when it's easy, when you're not feeling so challenged by messages of self-doubt. Start practicing your new message when you can be present with them, away from the stress of active negative patterns. The more you practice them, the bigger and stronger they become. Just like in building muscles, you start with light weights and gradually work your way up to heavier ones. Gradually, new thoughts are able to remain on track even when increasing amounts of pressure is exerted by that voice in your head. That's really it. It doesn't seem like magic, but I can tell you from experience, it works like magic. Practicing is the final crucial phase in turning your negative self-talk into unstoppable confidence. Now, your self-doubts, they weren't built in a day. They're not likely to evaporate in a day. But as long as you're not fighting against them and you focus on creating the new habit, they will weaken. Like a plant that's not watered or a flame deprived of fuel, old habits will cease to be when your attention is no longer focused on them. Learning new ideas, it's easy. How often do all of us find ourselves drawn to a book, read it, and feel proud of how our minds have expanded, but never actually put into practice what we've learned? I know I'm guilty of that. Nearly everyone is. But if shedding the negative voice in your head is something you really want to do, the step of practicing is crucial. Practicing the thoughts you want to have is the only way they will become automatic, the only way they will become your new default way of thinking and being. In this series, you've gained an increasingly broad perspective of the negative messages you tell yourself. In the next and last video in this series, we'll take another big step back and gain a much broader perspective on self-doubt in general. We'll discover that our negative inner voice isn't actually a stumbling block, but a marvelous gift. Until then, I wish you abundance and joy.